All right, welcome back to another edition of the Nosebleed Perspectives. So today we have our second guest on the show, so we're pretty excited about that. We have a man who served 20 years in the United States Air Force. He recently returned home from a deployment from Iraq. He dressed up as Santa Claus while deployed because he's the fucking man. He's a devoted 49er and Longhorn fan, a weapons icon who met us during our 2014-2015 Korea Bad Decision Tour. Born in the state of Texas, the state that said, fuck it, we're reopening everything during the COVID. And one of a very few humans who had the pleasure of being in charge of all three of us at once. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome one of the best supervisors we've ever had, Jimmy Rice.
Jimmy!
Thank you, guys. That's awesome.
We're excited to have you, Jimmy. Welcome to the show.
Yep, it's awesome to have you, man.
Yes, I'm super excited to do this, man. It is super stoked about this. So yeah, like I said, recently came back from Iraq, and man, I haven't seen you guys in such a long time. It's real. It's exciting to see you guys again. You know, like all the stuff that we've been throughout our career. You know,
yeah,
cool. It's cool to come on here and
by the way, this is our first conversation we've all had and talked to Jimmy in 5 years. So this is pretty exciting for all of us involved. So
yeah, this month is 5 years. Me and Gibby left Korea 5 years ago this month.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Left me to die there.
Two of us decided
5
it
years.
was such a good time that we went back one more time.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, you already went back and came back again, huh?
Ah, shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it was stupid. You know.
Yeah. Well, Gibby went to Kunsan, so I mean that's rough. I did Osan round 2 again. I was in the 36 this time, but yeah, it was good the second time for me.
Yeah, he was just working 16 hours a day. You know, no big deal.
Every day.
Yeah.
6 hours a day.
16.
16, yeah. Expediting the 36 was rough.
The time with you guys was my second tour to Korea. So my first time was at Kunsan, and my second time was at Osan. So, but I enjoyed both of my tours. I thought they were a blast.
Oh, yes, you
Them are
did.
some of the best memories of my career.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm gonna roll into the first question here.
Okay.
So what's the first thing you're gonna do after you've officially retired from the Air Force?
The first thing. So I thought about this long and hard, and originally, Anthony Walker. Me and Anthony Walker, after our retirement, had planned on going to Las Vegas together to celebrate our retirement. Fortunately, with everything that happened with this COVID-19, that is all cut off. So that is no longer in the plans. I actually just recently withdrew my retirement.
Oh, that hurts.
I had a job lined up before. Yeah. And so literally, like, they were like, yes, I had a meeting with the big boss scheduled for March 25th. On about March 15th, they told me he can't fly in because of everything that happened with COVID-19. So I couldn't even go there. And then I was like talking to my wife, and she was like, you need to withdraw your retirement right now because we are going to be screwed. And literally, that's what I did. In April, I started to withdraw my retirement. And it just recently got approved by the commander, but it's still got to go up to AFPC. So still waiting to see exactly what all comes back from it. It's not officially withdrawn yet until but like the commander has approved it, but it still has other steps it has to go through as a process.
So when the time comes, Las Vegas may be still on the table, though, right?
Yes, but when the time comes, that's what I was going to get back to, is to say, yes, I plan on going.
Nice.
I plan on having a good time. I feel like 20 years is a long time. Sometimes I can't believe I've been in.
Yeah, I mean, that's the cause of a huge celebration. So maybe I'll meet you up there. So that'll be fun.
Yeah,
Dylan's right there. So
I got in some trouble. I got in some trouble last time I was in Vegas, so I can't say I'll meet you in Vegas, but anywhere else.
I'll meet you anywhere else.
Yeah. Vegas is a rough. Me and Vegas aren't seeing eye to eye right now. Dylan was with me for that that little trip there.
I was
the,
having a grand old time. Turn my shoulder, can't find Cheech. Where's he at? Looking for him for like 2 hours. Find him outside on his face in the ground in the MGM. Anyway.
yeah. That's
Oh my God.
It was a bad time. I got sent home early on that TDY. Luckily, I was taken care of by a good legal team and good supervision. But but yeah, that's funny though that you mentioned Anthony Walker. I just saw that he retired. You guys don't know him. I was stationed with him at Whiteman. But yeah, Anthony Walker. I just saw that he retired. Like he must have just like slipped his retirement in there just in time because I think he retired in like February. So it's cool that you and him are going to link up, and you planned on linking up in Vegas. Hopefully, it ends up working out for you guys.
He did. Yeah. So that is definitely. He's wanting me to go to Kansas City and work with him over there at Honeywell,
Nice.
and I was like, man, I don't know.
Hey, Kansas City is an awesome place. I had a blast when I was stationed at Lyman. Kansas City was like I went there every weekend. It was awesome there. And I know a lot of dudes end up retiring from Wyman and working at Honeywell. I guess it's a good job.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he was telling me too. So
I'll send you some Chiefs gear, Jimmy.
I didn't know enough about it, but I said, send me the information. Gibby, I will burn that to the ground.
That's a good segue though. The Chiefs gear for the next question. Would you trade a 49ers Super Bowl win for another 5 years in the Air Force?
This was a tough question actually to answer, but I will tell you this, and y'all are going to be surprised. I'm going to say no, because
No, we're not surprised.
I'm not surprised. Yeah, fuck that.
It's a great answer.
Yeah, 5 years
in Air Force is.
So what is another 5 years? And I mean, yeah. So no, I wouldn't. And that is the honest answer.
That's fair.
Wouldn't that be shit? You got 3 troops like us again? That'd be stressful as hell.
Yeah.
Actually, you guys helped me out a lot, so I think that.
Oh, thanks, Jimmy.
You did.
Nice.
Wow, that's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to us.
That's true. Everybody hates us. So
a good majority of people.
Everybody hates us. Oh my
All right, Jimmy. Well, I guess since we're on the whole Super Bowl topic, let's just go ahead and stick with it, man. So
Okay.
I kind of want to just be in your living room through that Super Bowl, man. If you could just kind of walk me through it, because I'm sure my living room was the exact opposite. So you're up 10 points. You got a coach that has 7 running backs. You're up 10, 9 minutes left. And he does the same damn thing he did when he was in Atlanta. What happened, man? What happened? You all, like, in my whole mind, like I had already like checked out and was thinking about next year. What happened to San Fran at the end of that game, man?
So I'm going to tell y'all, I was not in my living room. I was actually in Iraq watching that Super Bowl. And so I was supposed to be in uniform, and I was the one of the first sergeants over there, right? I wore my Jerry Rice jersey into work that day, and I didn't give what anybody said. Right?
That's nice. Lock up.
priorities.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I was so excited about it. And realistically, I'll tell you the truth, I thought the 49ers were going to win. I really did.
Well, I think all of us did, really.
It looked like they were going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, I can't believe we're going to actually win. And then, it was that 40-yard pass to Tyreek Hill that made me question everything right at that moment.
Yeah, that
I was like, what in hell is happening? Like that we have, I would say, the best defense in the NFL right now, bar none. I don't know if y'all disagree, but I think so. Anyways, if you look at that, you're telling me that we can't prevent them from scoring 10 points. And y'all said there was like 9 minutes left. I think there was almost like a little over 6 minutes left that they did all that damage in. It was rough.
It was tough. Yeah, I remember watching it, as a as a Rams fan, I was like, man, thank God. I mean, just watching it, I was like, I cannot have the Niners. I had an appreciation for my friend. I was hoping he won a championship. Not that he wasn't spoiled already with the Blues, but
One.
but it was a crazy thing to watch unfold, without a doubt.
Yeah, what was my emotion like? Oh, I was pissed, and they all knew I was pissed.
Were you wearing your
immediately-
ABU bottoms? Were you wearing your ABU bottoms with your Jerry Rice top? I'm just trying to paint a picture in my head. I want to see you happy, so excited, about to cry in tears, and then you just go to straight misery with your Jerry Rice jersey and then your ABU bottoms. I'm just trying to paint a picture here.
So we don't wear ABUs anymore. We wear OCPs.
Oh yeah, whatever.
Weekend Warrior.
Hey, chill.
Weekend Warrior.
I actually wore OCPs downrange. Thank you very much.
You're right.
Okay. I was just giving you shit.
That was directed towards Gibby.
Yeah, Gibby, the one that just goes to cool bases and doesn't.
Yeah,
That's right.
Practically a weekend warrior.
Yeah. But Jimmy, I was thinking about that play that you were talking about. Mahomes walks over to the sideline. I don't know if you've seen any video footage of that. And he goes to Bellamy, the offensive coordinator, and says, "Hey, man, can we run WASP?" And that was that play, that 30-yard play. And he walks up to Tyreek. He said, "Just keep running, man." He's like, "I don't care what's going on." He's like, "I'm just going to launch the ball up to you." And it miraculously happened. So a lot of stuff had to go wrong for San Francisco to lose that game. And I feel for you, Jimmy. My excitement hit, and then I have about 2 San Fran fans that I was like, damn. But
You
fuck it.
thought of me, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. You and my
I
first
thought of you
supervisor.
too. I was like, that son of a bitch is so happy right now.
Son of a
Fuck Gibby. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, for all of you who don't know, Jimmy was there with us 2014, 2015 as our supervisor. So I just want to kind of get inside your head for kind of that tour, man. So you had three knuckleheads that have been arrested a couple times since then. Won't say who or when or anything, but the 3 of us, there's been 2 arrests since we left your side. Was that tour with us? Did we make it fun, or was it stressful for you? What was it like working us 3 working for you?
Oh, I mean, I have memories from all 3 of y'all that are very vivid in my mind all the time. And I always look back to my Korea time as one of the best times in my Air Force career, honestly. And I'm going to praise you guys. Working with y'all was awesome because y'all made it interesting. I can remember when Cheech came in one morning, he was like, "Some fucker tried to run us over at Load Barn last night." And I know you and Dylan both remember that night.
Yeah, I do remember. I was the one who got ran over.
Pissed.
Yeah, we were working mid-shift. And then we had to come back in because I put on the 24-19 that the 3-man blatantly ran over the evaluator. Then you guys were like, "Do we need to get security forces involved?"
No, yeah, that word blatantly really, hindsight pissed me off because I was in bed, I was snuggled up with my sore leg, and they were like, "Did this man really try to, injure you and run up your leg with the jammer?" And I was like, "No, they just sucked, I'm sorry.
What you guys put on there, we were about to start a rampage against this guy because when you put the word blatantly, I was like, was he trying to physically hurt you? So oh my God, I that's one of the funniest stories that I can always think of. Oh my God. And then of course I remember me and old Gibby over here, and he probably practically carried me back to my room after that.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That was a blast, but I remember very little at the very end. And I just remember waking up that next morning and Gibby passed out on my bed, and I was like, "What the fuck is he doing here?"
That man saved my career.
I remember Jimmy walking in because I didn't know where to sleep. Like there was his bed and the couch, and Jimmy had passed out on the couch. I was like, Jimmy, like, come on, man, like, because I knew he didn't know. I was like, Jimmy, you got to get in your bed because like tomorrow morning's gonna be real shitty for me if you do not get in your bed. So I was like, fuck it, I can't sleep on this. I couldn't sleep on that Korean floor, so I got in the bed. Jimmy walked in and said, "What the hell are you doing
He
here?"
slept in his bed. That's amazing.
I was like, Jimmy, I know you're not going to believe me, man, but I promise that I helped you out in the long run. But Jimmy, a couple years later, I needed your help, so I appreciate all the help with that recommendation letter you wrote me because that kind of saved my career too. So it all goes full circle, bud.
It does. So I would say that was paid full circle because you probably saved my ass that night. Because I'll be honest with y'all, I don't. That night was rough, and I thought it was a blast at first. You know, like we were playing cards, then we were playing dominoes, and then we were like, "Yeah, let's all go out." And then, yeah,
I think that was the first night I had the straight soju filled to the brim of a red Solo cup with ice with a splash of, was it the Kool-Aid mix stuff, like the Mio shit? Mio, yeah. Yeah, that was a great. Oh, that was a rough night, but yeah.
I remember I met you guys at Think because that was a significant night for personal reasons in my life that I'm not going to mention here. But afterwards, after the conversation that I had, I really needed to get drunk with the boys, and I remember meeting up with all you guys at Think, and we drank violently after that. It was awesome.
Good deal.
Yeah, I didn't realize that you had issues, Cheech, that day, and then because I was wondering why you didn't show up until later, because I was like, man, we had been planning this.
Didn't you have it at your apartment? You had like a little Thanksgiving thing at your apartment. Yeah, Cheech wasn't.
Yeah, me and Tank set it all up like that. Me and Tank were already drunk, but I think Dylan and Gibby were the first two people there.
We were
fucked up.
We were fucked up when we got there.
We were playing 2K at like 7 a.m.
Yeah,
slamming beers, making a sweet potato casserole.
Yeah, it was like the night before was like, you know, when you're so excited as a little kid before Christmas or like Christmas Eve night, and you're like, oh, like I know it's gonna be. Yeah, it was like that. So I didn't sleep that night, and then like 6:30 was time to drink. So.
Yeah, and so I had been drinking. Me and Tank we drove over there to get the turkey that we had gotten.
Oh,
yeah, such a good turkey.
We didn't stop drinking. I'm cooking and drinking. Yeah, and that was from Popeyes. That's right.
It was fire.
It was funny.
Yeah, they still do them. I got this last Thanksgiving at Osan. I got the Popeyes turkey. It was good.
Oh yeah,
I've never had that.
Awesome.
Turkey sucks in my mind all around. The worst kind of meat you could eat, but just my opinion.
So to answer your question, I had an amazing time with all three of you guys. Y'all are all three damn good workers.
Yeah, we can be.
And I loved every minute
to you.
That means a lot.
Glad you got the better part of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, because somebody got the worst part of
got
us.
the better part.
Yeah. We were still fresh.
The sec def. Remember when we prepped for that?
Oh yeah. Still tell that story.
Oh yeah, changing ceiling tiles, putting new carpeting down. Like they were saying, like this is the route he's gonna take. So we got to change all the ceiling tiles along the route he's gonna walk. We were like, what?
Yeah.
We mopped the hangar. We mopped the hangar for 12 hours. Even Chief White was in there mopping the hangar.
Yeah. Anytime you have a chief in there.
Gibby grabbed the damn mop from Chief White. He was like, let me get that from you, sir. Thank God, Gibby.
I swept rocks outside for like 6 to 8 hours.
My favorite part is that we laid that chrome plating down outside the door because we knew exactly where he was going to park. So the door opens and he looks at this chrome plating that we had laid out and perfectly aligned all day, and he gets out and goes, oh shit, this is for someone important, and he steps around that shit and walks around it.
Son of a bitch. What's his name? Ash Carter? That was his name, right?
Ash Carter.
Yeah,
that was.
And I want to share my favorite story with all of y'all.
Okay.
It
Great.
was when we were doing the MPOY, and we all came in there early to start drinking.
Yes.
And they tell us that they need to help hang up this shit while we are drunk.
Oh
True
yeah.
story.
We bought our own keg. Do you remember that? Us three
And
like
I'm
came
like,
together and we bought.
I don't think
We
that
bought
should
our
be
own
doing-
keg.
Yes, and they want us to come and help hang up all this shit. And there's cheats climbing up there, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I don't even know if this is right, man.
We got a lawsuit on our hands.
I just remember Jimmy going, "This is not a good idea."
I didn't know how am I going to tell them, because it's held at our hangar, and we're already
We're all
drunk, and I'm
lit.
like, and you want us to go help us set up? Like, this is not part of the plan.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, we were just there to drink beer and play Xbox. Like, we
Yeah.
just so happened to be in the same building that they were setting up in. We weren't part of setup. We just
had
wanted
security.
to get
We had security for our keg all night long. We had one person
Yeah.
manning the keg all night.
Oh,
Because people would think if they went in there that at POI, people would think that a keg is just free games. No, sir, that is for 3 to 5 people.
Yeah.
we thought we could fill a keg.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. This is for Load Barn only.
old barn only. So
Oh man,
those stories right there is what makes all that stuff with the three of y'all so memorable. Because you can't make that kind of stuff up. Like that, it's all real stories, and I mean, I never forget them. Especially when I see you guys, it makes me rethink of that.
Oh yeah, Jimmy.
yeah, man. I know. I imagine their second trip just wasn't the same without us.
They could have been.
It was not.
I hear the stories and I'm like, it sounds like you guys just
Well, we know Gibby
hated
for
your
sure.
life. Yeah.
Jimmy.
Oh man. All right. So I kind of want to pivot now. We'll go back towards football a little bit.
All right.
All right. So after the Super Bowl last year, the 49ers are kind of clearly that front runner for the NFC this year. And I was wondering what your realistic expectations were for them after that collapse in the Super Bowl and them being the favorite. What are your expectations for next year?
So I'll bring
Oh, Jimmy.
up some stats that I thought about. Most people who are Super Bowl losers don't go to the Super Bowl again the next year.
Yeah.
So
I'm well
I mean
aware.
that's like a statistical fact. I mean, Rams prime example. But I would say this:
Hey, it is what it
what
is.
John Lynch did in this draft was secured all the positions that we lost. So I want to say we lost to Forrest Buckner, traded for a 13-round pick, and then we traded with Tampa Bay, and we ended up with Kinshaw. I think he's a solid player.
Yeah, he's good.
And I think realistically, is he going to be a Forrest Buckner? No, he's not. He's not.
We don't know that. We don't know
But
that.
he is a solid. And we don't know that. You're right. So then my other one is we lost Joe Staley to retirement. And that one hurt me because I am a big Joe Staley fan. I think he is a rock solid, offensive lineman. And we ended up getting Trent Williams through a trade for, what was it, a 3rd and a 5th round pick.
Yeah.
That is a steal.
Yeah, robbed him.
Couldn't believe it. Could not believe it. So pissed at that still to this day, to be honest with you. Like the Rams could give up their fucking shitty skill position drafts and, go for Trent Williams.
Yes. And so I know that we lost other players, like we lost Breda, so we're kind of losing that 3-headed monster that we had before. But I would say that the biggest thing is we filled all positions. So realistically, I would say we're still at that Super Bowl caliber level. The team that I'm most scared of in the NFC, this is true, is the Saints. I think the Saints are a solid team. And I really thought we were going to be in the NFC Championship. It shocked me to see the Packers.
Yeah, no, I agree with pretty much everything you said. I think it's pretty clear that they're the most, well-prepared, most experienced now, especially being in the Super Bowl last year. And I feel like they won the offseason. They were the team that really, I feel like they almost got better throughout the offseason, in my opinion. I kind of talked about that in one of our last videos, but through the draft, Kinlaw is going to be a beast. and you got Nick Bosa on the outside right there. So he's not going to get double teamed. Who's the other guy on the other end? I can't think of his name.
So we have Eric Arms. Are you talking about just on the defensive
Armstead.
line?
Yeah, that
we got
defensive
D
line.
Ford.
D Ford.
So,
That's what
like,
I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Boo.
Cost the Chiefs a championship.
and he's a Chiefs guy too.
Yeah.
So realistically, I think the 49ers have a very good chance. But like I tell everybody, look at what we did in the playoffs until we got to Kansas City. Like, you guys cannot deny we manhandled Minnesota and we crushed Green Bay's dreams.
Without a doubt. What was it? 186 yards before contacts on the rush against Green Bay.
Yes.
Yeah, and not even up until the Chiefs, up until the fourth quarter against the Chiefs. Like for 2 games and 3 quarters of the Super Bowl, the Niners were just dominant. It was just one quarter. And I mean, even at that point, like if you like analyze it even deeper, it was half of a quarter. Like the Niners are the team to beat this year for sure.
Yeah,
I would agree.
without a doubt. Well, okay, so that leads me into another question about the Niners. So I thought about this. I kind of wanted to make it interesting, put you in a dilemma here, because I'm going to put two great players up. If you could only re-sign one player to a long-term deal to be the face of the franchise and one has to go, would it be George Kittle or Nick Bosa?
I actually thought this was one of the toughest questions out of them all because
It is.
I would tell you my favorite player right now is George Kittle. But the way that I evaluated this question, honestly, was I looked at production, and then I also looked at what is the most important positions. So if you want my honest opinion, on offense, we all say it's quarterback, right? We agree with that?
Without a doubt.
On defense,
100%.
it is your edge rusher. It is your edge rusher.
Yeah.
So
Attaboy.
to answer the question, I would re-sign Nick Bosa. And
Let's go, Jimmy. That's what
Jimmy.
the fuck I'm talking about. We fucking knew, Jimmy. We knew that you would make the right choice here.
See, we were all in agreement with the Nick Bosa decision, but I didn't know where you were going to go.
Y'all thought I would choose George Kittle.
We just thought emotions
like-
were getting away. We thought
And
emotions
like for
were
like
getting away.
when I thought about this too, I was like, for 1 second, I would sign George Kittle just because like who is Jimmy Garoppolo throwing the ball to? But then the more I thought about it, I was like, anybody can catch a football. But nobody. There's like 3 people that are Nick Bosa caliber players.
Absolutely. So I would tell Nick Bosa only had 9 sacks last year, but he had 1 interception and 1 forced fumble, right? But when you're creating that kind of pressure and you're creating opportunity for your other players to get sacked is where he comes in so key for the 49ers defensive line. And I'm a firm believer that when you build a team, you build from the inside out. I think you strengthen your offensive line and your defensive line.
Right.
And I see so many teams draft a quarterback and have a shitty offensive line. And then I'm like, so
Yep.
Yeah, the fucking Jets.
your guy's going to get killed. What
Yeah.
are you doing?
Yeah, you got Sam
Jets.
fucking Darnold seeing ghosts out there because he can't get 2 seconds to find a receiver to throw the football to. I know what you're talking about, Jimmy. I understand.
See?
Yeah, I mean, I
And
agree. You have to have those guys. The game's won in the trenches. I mean, it is, and San
It
Fran
is.
they have all the pieces right
They
now.
have the
So I mean,
trenches.
huh?
They have the trenches.
They have acquired those trenches. So yeah, and Jimmy Garoppolo too. We can kind of talk about him. But he's in his 3rd year on his contract he has 3 more years left. I'm sorry. Well, and he almost threw for 4,000 a year. It was like 3,900 yards last year. So almost there. So it's not like he didn't produce. People like to give him a lot of backlash. He just kind of a game manager, blah, blah, blah. And there's nothing wrong with that. Game managers have won Super Bowls. So who's that guy? Trent Dilfer, Ravens?
Yes.
Stop.
I knew you were going to go here because I think of the same.
Trent Dilfer.
Yeah, so I mean, but I think he's
Same
better.
thing.
He's better than him, and Jimmy Garoppolo. You know, he has the weapons. He has the ability. I think. But do you think he's going to be the answer long term? Do you think after his next couple of years he's the guy? I know we didn't kind of talk to you about this, but just off script here, do you think he's the guy?
So I'm going to go with this. You got to realize Jimmy Garoppolo before last year was hurt pretty much all season. Jimmy Garoppolo is still very young. Last year was his first full
Yep.
Yeah. True.
season playing in the NFL. And to take them to a Super Bowl, and I get it, the defense had a major part in that, but you still got to make the passes. And I'll go back to the Saints game when he exploded and threw for 4 touchdown passes. And I want to say that he threw for close to 400 yards that game. Yeah. He annihilated the Saints, and I could not believe it. So that's when he showed me that he's got potential.
You know what? At what point do we stop giving the Saints so much empathy? You know what I mean?
Oh my God! Just because your team defensive pass interference and cheated to get to the Super Bowl.
I'm just saying. Look, the Saints have had their opportunities. They've blown it a couple times in the past couple of years. I'm just, Jimmy.
Yeah, you're right.
You let Jimmy Garoppolo go in there and throw for 400 yards. I mean.
Hey, Dylan, do you say that was pass interference?
Oh, it definitely was. I mean, without a doubt. I'm not like being a crazy person here. Like, I understand that it was pass interference
with the Rams of the Saints. Okay,
but
I was just questioning that.
But they also had a lot. We've talked about this too. They had a lot of opportunities to win that game in the red zone at that point. So, it's I don't know. I mean, that when they lost in the was it the Minneapolis Miracle? Oh, Marcus Williams. I don't know what the fuck he was doing down there. He was
young.
He was he's a great player, but that's just. I mean, it's unfortunate for them, but they kind of fucked themselves there. And then, did Kyle Rudolph push off last year? Probably a little bit, but they had opportunities to win that game.
Yeah, they called George Kittle's a push off against the Chiefs, and I was like.
That's the only reason I bring this up. At what point do you be like, all right, they're not winning games? It's simple as that.
I watched Michael Irvin, and he talked about that, and he thought it was BS that they called that call against Kittle, and that's from Michael Irvin. So,
because that call could have been I'm not gonna say it would have been the difference, but it probably could have possibly once upon a time.
Impact. Yeah.
It would have had an impact.
For sure. Gibby, right?
You got 60 minutes to win a game, so.
Oh.
A solid answer, Gibby. Solid answer.
So, Jimmy, over-unders came out about a week ago for every team in the NFL. First betting websites, of course, they're trying to get money involved and stuff. So, San Fran's line is 10.5. Do you think San Fran wins under or over 10.5?
Do I think that I'm sorry, can you repeat it?
Yeah, my bad. So the line for Vegas came out 10.5 wins for San Fran. Do they win 11 games or more, or do they win 10 games or less?
They win 11 games or more.
Ooh, Jimmy goes with the over for San Fran.
Yes. So, and I will say this: I will say the NFC West is the toughest in the NFL right now. I firmly believe that. But the Rams, and this is going to hurt you, Dylan, but I think they're falling off. Like with their moves of getting rid of Todd Gurley, I don't even know if that's a good move or not. Darrell Henderson is your starting running back.
No,
they drafted a running back,
and we have
they got a rookie. It's
a talk for another time. Well, I appreciate you for coming on, Jimmy. I'd love for you to join us for our next episode, but I appreciate everything you've done for this conversation and everything you've done for us. So, thank you again for coming on. We'd love to have you back again if you ever have the opportunity.
Yeah, I'm quarantined right now, so anytime you guys want to do this, I love talking to you guys. And y'all can throw me some questions. We don't even got to talk about Niners. Like, we can do fantasy football because y'all know I love fantasy.
There's a subject right there.
And I think that would be a good topic for us to discuss. I just
We'll
want
have to bring you on for a fantasy episode.
For the past 2 years, I won the championship.
Ooh.
Big
He's
flex
out here
right
throwing
there.
punches.
Well,
Yeah.
We'll end on that. All right. Take care, Jimmy. Thanks for coming on. It's been another
Hey,
episode.
Jimmy.
It was good to
Nosebleed
see you,
Hey,
brother.
Good
Subscribe
seeing
to
you
our
guys
channel.
too.
Appreciate
Seriously.
that.
All right, y'all take care.